are live, guys. Welcome back to another Thursday. I know the time change might have messed a few people up here. I had to make sure that Michael knew that Arizona does not change times. We just slide to a different time zone. So I'm sorry. Did you lose an hour of sleep? Is that what happened for you with the time change?
They always mess me up. I don't know why an hour makes such a difference, but always walking dead a few days after time change. But glad you guys get to stay the same. Maybe Missouri will figure it out someday.
Yeah, I hope the rest of the country does. It's kind of a pain. Well,
It's
so wait,
twice.
are you in Missouri or are you in Kansas? You live in Missouri?
What's that?
Do you live in Missouri or Kansas?
Missouri.
Missouri. I always get tricked on that line. My family's in Kansas. So, well, I know that you were just out here in Phoenix, and you got to hang out with Pace for a bit. You got to go on Steve Training podcast. When is Steve's podcast going to be posted so we can listen to what you talk about?
It's 2 weeks from this coming Sunday is when he's posting it. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, sweet. And then I know you did an entire series with Pace for door knocking. Is that probably about a month out, you think, as well?
As quickly as Eric can produce it, it'll come out. But yeah, I think we did a 9 or 10 part series that'll be on Pace's YouTube. So hopefully that'll provide you guys a lot of value and get you going. So
that's exciting. Well, everybody that's on here, thanks for coming in. I know some people did not know about the time change. So if you guys would holler at them, tell them to come in here. We do this every Thursday at 12 o'clock Arizona time. So I know it's messed up a few people, but we're excited to be in here. I've actually pushed a few people that were on my Instagram DMs to come to this live so they could come in here and ask questions. So I know we have some people on Instagram live. If you come over to my YouTube or Michael Frankie's YouTube, you can jump in here and we can answer your questions. But I wanted to ask you something to kind of, hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. And let us know when you get onto the YouTube channel. Tell us where you're at. Are you on the hunt for your first deal? Have you already done a deal? Where do you guys need help? The whole purpose of this is a free hour with us. It's a lunch hour with Michael. He is a multimillionaire. I'm trying to copy off of him. And in this time, I want you guys to copy off of him too. And I want us to make a difference in our community so we can help more homeowners potentially keep their homes if it's possible. Definitely help them save their credit and rebuild it so they can get back on the right foot. There's Michael. I've told you I got a few people door knocking for me and how it's changed again. Yesterday, we got 2 contracts out. So they're finishing up their third week, which is really cool. They still don't know, they're more so appointment setters, but they're doing a lot, getting the hang of it. And it's been really, really cool because they didn't understand what the purpose was getting started. And now we are seeing, we've done your strategy of first time they get notice of default, we're reaching out. And then also we're circling the end when there's 15 days left on the before the auction. And wow, reaching out to those homeowners 15 days before the auction, getting contracts from that. But I want to say we're having a lot of like deals where it's almost a short sale now because they're so upside down. So I'm curious for you, Michael, when you got started, how many short sales did you do, or how many of them were you like, man, there's just no equity. I don't know what I can do with this property?
You know, the first couple of years, I started doing foreclosures 2018. I would say the first couple of years, I ran into those situations, but honestly, at that point, I really didn't know how to handle them. So oftentimes I would just kind of refer them over to an agent or something and then just kind of forget it. Conveniently enough, we have started running into some short sales. I've completed a few this year, and I actually contracted one 2 days ago. Seller bought this house back 2020. He bought it for $99,000. Trashed the place in the last few years. Had issues with COVID, issues with health, etc. And he's about $15,000 behind right now. It's probably like a 160 house fixed up, but it probably needs 60 put into it. And he owes 110. Sent it out to a few buyers to see if I could get fortunate enough to find someone that needed to place some money, but everyone was offering like 80 for it at best. So reached out to a short sale agent. She's going to see what she can do to work with the lender to get it approved to sell for 60. I would buy it at that price. But yeah, we've started encountering those more. And that's just another tool in your tool belt that you're going to have. What is it? Matthew Potter's the short sale king.
Matthew Potter is the short sale king. Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys run into those, how many thousands has he done transactions?
I think he's in 18,000. He started in 2008.
So I know enough to be dangerous with short sales, but Matthew Potter's done 18,000 of those transactions. So if you run into him, give Matthew Potter a call, lay out the situation. He'll probably more than likely have a path for you to go down, and perhaps there's a deal where you didn't previously think there was one.
So for everybody new on here, because you might not know what a short sale is, I had to go over that this morning because I've been coming across a lot of short sales. So for example, we're doing a short sale on a home where a gentleman, the ARV in the house was $290,000. Maybe I should do a quick explanation here. What is it called? I gotta pull it up so everybody can see. I'm a visual person, so I'm gonna share my screen so people can see what it looks like. This home, there it is. Let's do it over here. Let's see if it's going to show it. Boom, there we go. So this home is the ARV. Here we go. The ARV in the home is ARV. The after repair value equals $290,000. Okay.
Are you trying to share your tablet?
Is it sharing?
No.
I can't access my screen. See different. Well, let's see if it'll do it again. I selected it. Let's try it one more time. Share. What in the world? It usually shares. Well, man, you might not be able to share it today. The browser can't access your screen. Well, we can't do the video today, guys. I apologize. I don't know. So you're going to do the math on your own.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. So pull your calculators out. The ARV on the home was $290,000. Of that 290, the ARV, his mortgage payoff to pay this house off completely is 260. So 290 minus 260, we're at $30,000 of potential equity. Now, Michael, when you go to like wholesale deal or fix and flip it, what is the first thing you do? Because you reverse engineer. What is the first thing you take away when you're going to see if the numbers work?
We're going to use that typical formula, 75% minus repairs, maybe 70 or potentially 80 if you're really pushing it. But what you say, 290?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do the math then. 290,000 times 0.75. You're already down to 217, and the guy owes 60 or 260. So you got a problem. Then, of course, I'm sure the house needs some work. How much work do you think it needs?
I think it probably needs like $45,000 worth of work.
Okay. So it needs $45,000 in work. So that puts us down to an offer of $172. Well, we're basically $90,000 off. Normally, that's not going to work for cash, and I don't know if it would work for sub 2 or not. But did it work for sub 2?
It did not. His rent or his mortgage monthly payment was right at what the rent rates were. Okay. So it's really upside down. I go a little more nitty gritty when people want to understand. But if you just look at the beginning, when you're reverse engineering for how fix and flippers do, they take away the realtor fees and the closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take away the realtor fees and closing costs, not even including the renovation, you're already upside down. Yeah. So just a really upside down deal. So what I'm going to do, and this doesn't work, and I wanted to see if I could take it subject to, but it doesn't cash flow. If I borrow money to catch this up, it's a lose-lose. Yeah. And this homeowner, for all intents and purposes, was like extremely motivated. I'll do whatever you guys want. Give me $1,000, take the house, because he just didn't want to have a foreclosure on his record. Well, we're going over to the bank and we're saying, listen, and it was already listed on market. We didn't realize it was listed on market. Had been listed on market for about a month. Was not even, because we just pulled it because it was going to be an auction within the week. So I was like, I'm getting my door knockers just so they can see what the conversations look like. First person at the door, and conversations look like being like the 100th person at the door. So we were probably the 100th person to knock this door. And the guy's like, I'll do anything I can to get this, take this house off of my plate. So we realized it had been on market. Nobody wanted to buy it. And wholesaler was actually the agent trying to list it. Had other wholesaler cash buyers come in and they're like, nope, doesn't work. So we went over to the bank. I'm just going to say Wells Fargo for the example. Hey, Wells Fargo, this has been listed for a month. All of the offers are way lower than what the house is worth. It needs $40,000 worth of work. The roof is leaking. There's a crack all the way through the home. There's a casita in the back that's got a dirt floor. So there's just it needs all kinds of things. So we're asking the bank to, instead of selling it for $260 because they're not going to get that offer, accepting a loss and getting the house off of their books. And then we're going to potentially either fix and flip it ourselves. And we're finding out what the laws are. You are not allowed to wholesale a short sale, just so you guys know. So you can't just assign the paperwork to an end buyer. You must own it, and then you can own it for a certain period of time. I'm waiting. Matthew Potter is educating me on this. Sometimes it can be the next day. Sometimes it can be the same day, 30 days, 90 days. So we're going to have to find out how long we'll have to hold on to it, borrow it, and then assign it. Or we'll just see if we can get in there, fix it up ourselves, and move on. But we're having short sales.
We just completed a short sale and experienced all those different rules. We wanted to assign it for like $25,000. Can't do that. Well, then we learned that you couldn't even sell it for 30 days. So you had to buy it. You had to hold on to it for 30 days. And then there were rules to where you couldn't sell it for more than like 20% more than you bought it for. So there's all these different rules. So if you're going to take down a short sale, you really need to educate yourself. Someone like Matthew Potter can walk you through every single thing you need to know, probably in your stakes. I imagine there are different rules in each state and each type of loan.
Yeah, each lender is going to have different rules. So, but we have another house, and here's the other thing. You can't always get the homeowner money. Sometimes you can get the homeowner some money, but the bank is selling it at a loss. The mortgage company is selling it at a loss. So every once in a while, you can get them $2,000, $1,000. I saw Matthew one time got a homeowner $8,000. It just depends. But the bank is taking these things at a loss. So we have just had, we're getting a lot of things under contract that have auctions that week, the next week. And they are like, we have one homeowner who is $55,000 behind on their mortgage. So the other, just a story for all of you, the longer it takes to catch up those back payments, or the longer these homeowners wait to catch everything up, they are eating away their equity that they could potentially be getting, because you have the mortgage payment, the attorney fees, the late fees. There's things that are going to eat those up. So that's a very important lesson. But I was curious if you had a lot of short sales, but it sounds like that's not when you got started. You just passed it off to somebody else. So when you did get started, then how were you going back to 2016 when you started door knocking? What was your main focus when you were helping homeowners that were in foreclosure? First conversation with them.
So first off, who was I targeting? For me, it was always the people that had a foreclosure auction set, and it was always the people that had less than a couple weeks. I just found that, right when that foreclosure sale came out, people weren't taking action. The people that were taking action were the people in the last few weeks that had kind of run out of options already. And my focus was simple. I would go to those houses. Generally, at that point, I was only texting, cold calling, door knocking. That was it. And most of the time it was door knocking, and I was just going up there saying my basic script. Hey, my name is Michael. I noticed you had a sale set for next week. Hopefully it's okay. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do to help. And those people would list off all the different things they've tried and failed. And I would just try to think in my mind, well, what other options were there? And I've added tools in my tool belt over time, but that was my focus, is just solving the problem and hoping that I had a solution that they hadn't tried yet.
So, and I'm glad Nina just said, this is great. I actually have my first short sale about to get started on right now.
Hey, there we go.
And then I'll answer this one that Cornerstone has. Cornerstone has, when a short sale is needed, how are you able to pay or get the seller some money? So there's some strategies that Matthew Potter has told me. You can say you can buy the furniture inside of the home with your purchase and give them some money, but you're not getting the homeowner a ton of money on a short sale. Like if any, like maybe $2,000, maybe it all varies. It's not a for sure thing. So I cannot just say, hey, you do the short sale, we'll get you $20,000. It's always up to the discretion of the lender. And the short sale can be denied. Like the bank doesn't have to approve it. If you ask for a short sale, I had a homeowner call me yesterday. He's like, he thought I could just do magic. He's like, hey, my auction's tomorrow. What can you help me with? And I was like, well, what have you done so far? Yeah, but is there some kind of button you can press to stop the auction for tomorrow? And I was like, well, what have you done so far? And just so you guys know, in Phoenix here, your start date is on day 1, and you have 90 days until your auction date. On day 89, he tried to do something. He didn't try and do anything before. He did. I was like, well, what happened when you spoke to the bank? He's like, well, I haven't been able to get a hold of them. You've had 89 days. What are you waiting for? So they're eating that up. But I wanted to just say for everybody on here that's getting started, when you're doing short sales and things, you don't always know what the exit strategy is going to be. And going in with solutions first, that can help you out a ton. I wanted to, okay, so a short sale doesn't affect their credit as much as a foreclosure. That is a good, yes, it does not affect their credit as much as a foreclosure, but it will affect their credit. So I don't really know the whole difference on that. Again, Matthew Potter's a short sale king. Do you know the difference between the two?
I don't know the details of that. I've probably done 10 or 12 short sales ever. It's never been a focus for us. Bringing someone on like Matthew that could answer all these nitty gritty questions, he's going to be way more valuable for you.
Maybe we could get Matthew to come on here sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So I just Googled it. In fact, people going through the short sale process can usually buy another house without having to wait, although securing a second mortgage might be more challenging. Or foreclosure, on the other hand, stays on your credit report for 7 years. So you have to wait 5 years to buy another house. So it's just not as bad on your credit, but it does take a hit. All right. So when you're doing this outreach, Michael, when you're brand new, because I know we have a lot of new people in here, what would you say, what is the highest leverage activity for your time? Because I've had a lot of people are just like, I'm calling everybody and anybody. What would you try if you could talk to Michael from forever ago? What would you tell him to focus on?
Well, it's interesting. I don't even have to talk about myself. I hired a new guy.
Okay.
He started about a month ago, and he wanted to work with wholesalers. So he was going to network with wholesalers, get deals from them. We were doing okay, but he was like, this is kind of boring. I'm kind of interested in the niche stuff. So I was like, okay. So I gave him like a 3-hour crash course last Monday or Tuesday, I think it was. So he started, I think, on last Wednesday, knocking doors. I told him, all I want you to do is when we get the data each day for notice of default, day 1, I just want you to go out to the house, have no expectation, see if it's vacant, see if you can have a conversation. Don't worry about knowing everything. Okay? If you run into someone that's interested, try to set an appointment. I will come. I will run the appointment. You can watch me do it, and then you can learn that way. So day 1, he goes out there, door knocks this sweet old lady in Independence, Missouri, suburb of Kansas City. Lady wants to set an appointment. I come out there the next day. We go through all of her options. She owes about, I think it was $90K on the house, and it was a $275 house. Probably need $50 to fix it up. Great deal. But her problem was, I want to stay in the house. I don't care if I could just sell it for what I owe. I just want to stay in the house. That was all she cared about. She'd lived there for 40 years, refied a few times.
So what you're doing when you're going over to these homes, this is a very important thing, because I just kind of did like a sales training Zoom. You're not coming in and saying, hi, Michael, I know you're in pre-foreclosure. I'm here to buy your house. I want to buy your house. This is what I can do. I can do this, 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 this. What are you doing at the very beginning of it? Because you just said what she wanted.
At the very beginning, are you talking about what he says at the door? Right at the beginning, or at the beginning of my appointment?
Beginning of your appointment.
Okay, at the beginning of my appointment, I set the stage and say, no matter what, you're not going to get foreclosed on. Okay, so go ahead and remove that from your mind. Remove the fear. What we're going to do is go over these 5 options. Okay, all I want to do is go over these 5. So I go over reinstatement. I ask them some sub questions. Hey, how much are you behind on the house, give or take? Well, right now I'm $8,000 behind on the house. Do you have any family or friends that can help you pay up? Actually, I've talked to a couple of friends from church. I looked into my 401k at my job. There's nothing there. I will not come up with the money. I've tried. Okay. Well, have you looked into a loan modification? Yes, I've looked into a loan modification. I can't afford the payment as it is. They told me what the new one would be. It was through the roof. It didn't matter if I got approved. I couldn't afford the new payment. Then I brought up bankruptcy, and that I hate bankruptcy, but in a last minute effort, we can do it. She's like, I am not filing bankruptcy. I will not do it. There's people that are like that don't care if they file bankruptcy. And there's people that are like, I will not do that. Okay. So then it got down to the cash sale, and she's like, well, I could sell it cash and make some money, but then you're going to want me to move. I won't move. She's like, I need to stay in my home. So I brought up subject to, and we agreed to buy it subject to for what she owed. And I was going to put a little bit of money in her pocket. And she happened to have 2 other family members that had moved into the house.
Mhm.
That one owned a painting company, one owned a company that makes cakes for people.
Okay.
So I ended up coming up with an agreement for them to rent, which I know, cardinal sin. So if you're not experienced, don't do this. But I'm taking a house subject to for 90 grand. It's a 275 house. I'm not going to lose. And they are thrilled. This all came from a guy that had no experience, 0 experience with niche lists. He went and door knocked. This was within his first 15 doors. Okay, 0 experience, 15 doors. He said the same thing. Hey, my name is Winston. I noticed that a foreclosure sale is coming up. I just want to drop by and see if I can help. They poured out their soul. I came in. I closed this deal. His mind is blown because he didn't think this was going to work and that I'm just making up stories on my social media every day. But so that was door knock number 15. Okay. Within the next 15 knocks, he finds good old short sale boy we talked about earlier. These people are in a world of hurt. I sign a contract to work with them in terms of a short sale. We're working on that. Then yesterday, he didn't door knock this one. He sent a Facebook message. Woo! I love me some Facebook messages. He finds a homeowner that's deceased. He cannot find them. It's difficult. He looks up obituaries. Oh, they're passed away. He finds that the heirs live in town, sends them a Facebook message. They're like, that is so funny that you messaged me. I saw that this house was going into foreclosure and I wanted to do something with it. Can you meet us over there tonight? Okay, so we met him over there last night, found out that, so there's husband and a wife. So shut me down if I'm talking too long. I can
No,
talk
you're
forever.
giving me. I mean, I'm enjoying it.
So husband, wife, they have, the wife has 3 kids from a different marriage. The husband takes off when they're really young, moves to West Virginia somewhere. Well, they stay married this whole time. He has 2 kids with some other woman, right? So we had to figure out that there's this really complicated probate situation. So we're going to probably contract this thing tonight. But in the past week since he started, he's seen a subject to transaction. He's seen a short sale transaction, and he's seen a foreclosure probate combo. So this is how you learn. And the amount that he's learned this week, he could probably go out and do it on his own. Hopefully he'll stay with me for a long period of time. But guys, he went from knowing nothing to taking action while knowing very little and probably getting his 3rd contract in a week. I don't know what to say. If you guys want to start right now, go to the notice of default, look at them daily. A subset of those people will want to solve it right now. Or you'll find vacant houses and you can play that game. We can talk about that another time. Hopefully
Really
that's helpful.
I thought that was helpful. So Tanisha has a good question here. I know that she's doing a lot of pre-foreclosures now. How do you choose which sellers you will let stay in the property as renters? I have one I'm working that asked about renting the property back. I won't be the buyer, and I made no guarantee.
It all has to do with 1, my judgment, 2, how much equity there is. I'm going to factor in on if I'm taking down the house and they're going to stay there, that the worst case scenario is going to happen. They're going to trash the house. I'm going to have to evict them. I'm going to have to pay for all those fees. I factor in worst case scenario. I factor in, I'm going to have lender payments this whole time. Okay. If the juice is worth the squeeze, you can do it. But again, I'm someone that's done a lot of deals. I've been burned on some of these. If you're a new person, find someone like me in your market.
Mm-hmm.
Assign it. Maybe you don't make a whole lot because of the risk of the situation. So what? You can learn something from that situation. Maybe down the road you have a little bit more capital, a little bit more experience and confidence. Take it down then. But I don't recommend doing that when you're new. It only takes a couple deals going wrong to, put you in a bad situation.
Especially new people in here. Can I just see in the side chat really quickly? How many people in here are looking to get their first deal? Can you just say first deal in the side chat so we can get an idea of who we're talking to? And if you guys have been doing deals for a while, we can talk a little bit more. But especially those of you that are on the hunt for your first deal, please, please, please. Michael's been doing this for 8 years, 6 years or 8 years?
Been in investing for 9-10 years, been doing foreclosures for like 6.
Okay, so there we go, first deal. There's a lot of us in here doing our first deal. When you're getting started, Michael, you were making $40,000 a year before you started doing this?
$40,000 a year as a teacher, everybody. Working 80 hours a week is great.
Would you tell that Michael back then to take this down as a rental and let them live in it?
No.
New people, you need to make money. We want you to leave your jobs. We want you to have freedom to go and help more families. You need to be assigning and getting that large sum of cash. Think about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That large chunk of change is going to make the difference between you being successful and you drowning. There are so many people I've talked to, and this is like a caution, a warning sign. Just because somebody's selling a deal subject to does not mean you have to buy it. I've heard people that are getting into deals that are not cash flowing and they're just burning money. Okay? Don't worry about depreciating until you have enough money that you need to worry about it. Okay.
So for example, on this deal that I'm taking down subject to, the lady's staying there, $90K taking it down, ARV 275.
Mm-hmm.
If I was new and I took it down, who knows what would happen? I have all this equity in the house, but the person is there. Maybe they stop paying. I don't have the money to keep the mortgage going. Then it goes back into foreclosure. Ugly. Okay. Or you go find someone that's really experienced. Maybe they want a subject to rental. Maybe they'll take this down and, they'll just take their time on finding people new housing. But in my market, I could probably assign that for 20 to 30 grand at least with the amount of equity in there. But maybe it's not that much. Maybe it's just 5 or 10K. Okay. Get that amount of money to where it's like, hey, I have a handful of months of living expenses. Let's stack those type of deals a few times. And then maybe when you have a few years of living expenses down the line and you want to take a risk, maybe at that time you think about it. But if you're new, find those experienced guys, find your Carolines, find your Michaels, assign us the deal, and we'll educate you through that process. So you learn and you earn at the same time. That's great.
Learn and earn. Ooh,
learn and earn.
Cool. Learn and earn. Do the work so you can learn, then you can earn.
Talk like us Midwest people. Learn and earn.
Michael Cody Schaefer says, hey, I'm in your market. Want me to send you creative leads and we can JV?
Obviously. Do the old Snape.
Obviously. So look, right here is Michael's Instagram handle. This one is mine. You guys can message us on Instagram. That's the fastest way. Right now, I got like 15 messages I got to reply to. We're quick. Michael's on Instagram. He replies. You're on there a few times.
Cody Schaefer, the least you can do. I put free sauce out here, and you're creating competition for me. Slide me a deal every now and then.
Yeah, come on. We're giving all the secrets. This is what we do every Thursday. That's really good. So the other thing I'd say is just if you guys go back, we've done so many, especially on Michael's YouTube. He's got a team that's cleaning up our YouTube videos and giving you scripts. We have scripts on how you can door knock. We have scripts on the phone conversations. We've shown you how to pull the data on here before. Go watch our previous lives and see how we do everything. And this is the one ask, because we're doing this for free. We're taking time away from our business. Like, I'm getting text messages. My team's like, can you hop on the phone right now? Can you hop on the phone? We got people that need us. Please, we're doing this for free every Thursday at 12 o'clock Arizona time. So what? It's 2 o'clock Central time now?
It's 2:30 here.
2:30. If you guys would like this video, share this video, tell somebody to jump in here. Our whole mission is to get the real estate investing idea in people's head to be changed. We want to help homeowners. That's what we do. We help more people keep their houses. And then, like, my favorite story from you, Michael, is you help people catch up their mortgage. And if they don't fix their financial situation, they come back to you and they sell you the house because you treated them the right way the first time.
Check out this review I got no more than 30 minutes ago. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
I might,
This was
maybe
a
I can.
seller. This was a seller. Yeah, go look up East West Properties. I ain't lying to you, in Kansas City, and look up this review that was from like less than an hour ago. Found this couple. They were out in Lexington, Missouri, boondocks. Boonies. I don't buy out there, but I really wanted to serve this person, so I told them from the beginning, look, I'm not a buyer for your house. Just let me help you stop this sale. You've got way too much equity for this to happen. So I helped them. They got the sale stopped. Here's the review. Michael was very upfront. Yeah. Yeah, I got to figure out this one, that Julie Casey. That's a wrong review there. But it says, Michael was very upfront and very knowledgeable about the foreclosure process and what we needed to do to stop the process, and gave several options. Okay, so credibility. Our mortgage lender ended up stopping the process on their own, but Michael was right there down to the wire waiting to help our family in any way possible. I would recommend East West to anyone who is unfortunate enough to have to deal with crooked mortgage lenders. Wonderful. Okay, how much do you guys in the side chat, how much do you think I made from that review? How much do you think I made serving this family?
There's a little bit of a delay, so I bet it'll take like 5 more seconds for people to see this.
How much do you think I made serving that family?
The phone mechanic says 50,000.
Okay. Abraham says nothing. We got to have names on our thing here. Who is SFWD?
Marcella says nothing.
So I got a wide range. Okay. So from actually serving these people, made nothing. But did I actually make nothing? That is the question. So I've gone back and looked over the years how much I've made from pre-foreclosures compared to how many reviews I have for pre-foreclosures. And on average, every single one of those makes me $84,000. Because what do people down the line do? They go look me up. They get my mailer. They get my Facebook message. They meet me at their house. Who is Michael Frankie at East West Properties? They go check it out. And they might see that review right there. Hey, he's willing to serve me and not buy my house. I'm at least going to give him a call.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those things makes me over $80,000. So don't think that you're not making money by serving. You serve sacrificially, and then by doing that, the result is hopefully money down the line.
Guys, the reviews are huge because people are going to see that, and that's how you get more. I've sent out Google reviews. Actually, the other day, I called a lady who had an auction on Tuesday. She was in air. Same thing. I did some hunting to find her. And she's like, this seems like a scam, because I didn't answer her call when she called me back. I was like, I'm sorry, I was on the other line. And I was like, here's our Google review. You can check us out. We're legit. And it was from somebody else that I'd helped. And she's like, Caroline didn't even want to make any money. She helped us get the loan mod and all kinds of stuff. Those things will help you when you need the credibility. So it's a great way to use those. Yep. Marcella hit it right there. Your reviews will bring new leads. More people they're going to Google. What do? We Google. I'm a person who loves Google reviews to see where I should go eat food. If somebody says the food's bland and it's frozen, I'm not going to that restaurant. Hi, Carly. I want to go to the best one. So those are huge, huge tips that'll help you out a ton. Michael, so if you could have a perfect seller avatar, like, this is the one that I want to talk to, or where you're most likely would get the most juice for the squeeze, what would that property look like? What would that property look like? And what would be like the main thing going on you could see from the outside for the homeowner?
In terms of the perfect avatar, some of the easiest appointments are ones where there's been a death in the family. They're inheriting the home. Sometimes they don't even know that they're inheriting the home. The house is vacant, so there's no emotional attachment to the house. This was how it was last night with that pre-foreclosure probate combo. Mm-hmm. Their heart hurts because their mom, their dad passed away. Maybe it's their childhood home. It's like they can't even stand going there. It just hurts too much. And they're like, I spoke to a probate attorney. It was going to cost me $20,000. I can't afford it. Detachment from the house. Okay, if you can find a seller that has detachment from the house, they need some money, you can solve that problem. That is your ideal, realistic customer that you would like to work with. in my opinion.
I agree. Because then you don't have to, we really want to stay, but we don't have any money. But I think like the worst thing is, man, I hate it. Especially, I've told you about it. I hate it when there's kids involved because it's hard. I don't want kids to get evicted. I don't want kids to be taken out by the sheriff. They have to go change schools. But those third party stories can help you. It's just what it stinks when you're going to a home and they're like, we're going to keep it. The bank's going to work with us. The bank, why wouldn't the bank work with us? I'm a good person. You might be a good person, but in the bank's eyes, you're just a number. You're just a file. And
So
this is another.
if you had to put a demographic to it for vacant houses, you're probably a 50 to 70-year-old son or daughter that's an heir that you're working with. That's probably what they look like. What are you guys seeing in your markets? What is your general client like? What age? What situation?
I want to hear from the Murphins. Toren Murphins, I think, is in here with
Yeah.
Dave. They've been doing a lot of deals.
Yeah.
I want to hear from them.
Up there in Washington.
Yeah, they're crushing it up there in Washington. And guys, Washington's a state you're not allowed to say, hey, I noticed you're in pre-foreclosure. So I'm curious what they're doing to get lead, like how they're talking to them. I'm going to, because Cody's got questions. Guys, remember, ask your questions in the side chat so we can see them. Actually, I guess it's this way. But Cody just said, do you download the pre-foreclosure list from the county or do you use PropStream? County, baby. Fastest day.
How many times have we gone over this? As Pace would say, chop. It's like, how many times do I got to talk about this?
There you go. Toren just said, so for Toren, they do really well when they're 40 to 60 years old.
Hey, that's what I just said. 50 to 70 heirs. Yep. Love it.
That's a really good one. So actually, Toren, can we bring you up on stage? I want to hear what you guys are doing in your deals right now. I'm going to invite you up here. I'm going to put a link on the side chat so you can come up. I want to hear about your guys' deals. I see you guys are doing deals, but I haven't got to hear it. Got some people interacting on the side chat. Oh, wow. Alex said 30% of the homes are abandoned that she's going to. Interesting.
Ooh. Man, I wish 30% of our houses were abandoned. I'd be doing well up in here. Alex, let me know how you're not converting those.
Getting started. So guys, what we're doing in here though, take this information. So when you're going to be pulling a list, so Cody, let's go off of Cody's question here. Are you pulling the data from PropStream from the county where you're getting? Once you pull that data, what's going to be the highest leverage activity? Which of these houses will have the most juice for your squeeze? One of the things I've been telling people when they're going to join a team to learn how to do stuff, I would ask that team, hey, Michael, how many deals are you closing on average a month?
About 15.
15. What is your average assignment?
About 25. About
$25,000. I'm new and I don't know a whole lot. If I join your team and I'm just commission only, okay, I'm not getting a base pay. While I'm learning, because you're going to hold my hand for a while, what commission rate do you think I could see getting from if I'm door knocking and I'm hitting your KPIs every day, doing the team standards? What commission rate should I get off of that 25,000?
First off, it's not easy to get on my team anymore, but a typical commission for a guy on my team would be anywhere from 10 to 25%, depending on the size of the deal.
Yeah, and their experience. So, like guys, when you're brand new and you're going to join a team, and we have to stop all the time and train you and pull, and like we are getting brought into the deal, you're not doing it alone, you're going to make less. You're going to get less, but would you rather have a piece of a grape or a piece of a watermelon, We're showing you how to do things.
Like wholesalers in my market, if you are confused, you don't know how to do a deal, my guy Winston that works for me a week ago, he hadn't seen any of these appointments. He's going to get a nice commission. But if you're a wholesaler that comes across these situations, hit me up, hit Caroline up. Let us come to the appointment, watch how it's done. Winston even said yesterday, how do you talk to these people with such precision? Like, how do you know what to do? It's like you've done it thousands of times. It just rolls off the tongue. Guys, it's practice. So just come to these appointments, see how we do it, see how it looks and how it feels, see what it looks like to sign a contract. Once you see that once, that opens the mind up. Okay, so you're learning while you're earning.
Huge nugget. Toren, I hope you see that and you jump on stage. We'd love to ask you some questions about that. So the only reason I was bringing that up, learning while you're earning, think of this when you're going to join a team. What percentage are you going to get from that deal? So if somebody's closing on average, their average assignment is $5,000 to $8,000 and you're getting 10% of that, you're doing the exact same amount of work you'd do if you got with a good team that knows what they're doing. is that going to be worth your time? Going out to door knock a house, if it doesn't have those pain points and there's not as much equity, like you can still reach out to them and help them. But remember, you need to get paid for your time. I mean, there's going to be a lot of times where you're just driving, you're burning gas, and you're not making any money. Prioritize the houses that have the leverage where you're going to get a deal from it. So that's the one thing I want to say, because I hear so many people are like, I went all in. I didn't know what I was doing. I spent a lot of money, and I went out and I got a CRM. I got a VA. I got a dialer. I got all of this, and they don't know where the success will be. Go. What's the highest leverage activity that you can do? So just keep that in mind when we're talking about this. Oh, Alex is in Florida. That's why she has so many vacant houses. She says, I got a lot of old people. I'm always late to the vacant ones. So now, since the numbers are so high, I'm pulling the notice of default list. Hopefully this will speed. This is the speed to lead I need. I like that.
How do you know you're late to the vacant ones?
Are they already under contract, Alex? Oh, we got Toren in the background. We'll let Alex respond to that. But Toren's on here, so I want to ask him questions. What's up, dude?
The man.
Guys.
Woo-hoo. Thanks for jumping on here.
Yeah,
What's the
absolutely.
weather like in Washington? Is it raining or is it better?
It's actually 70 and sunny this whole weekend. So
Wow.
we're it's door knocking weather. Perfect weather for it.
Well, hey, so a few questions for you. I know, is it you and your dad, or do you have a brother involved too?
Yeah, we brought my brother on full time about this time last year. So
Wow.
It's 3 of us and a VA.
Okay, so give us an overview of like what you guys are doing, and then let's talk about your what you're seeing the most success in.
Yeah. So when we first started, we did a little bit of everything, just bulk marketing, right? And then after a year, we looked back at our last 10 deals and said, what worked and what were our biggest assignments? And they were pre-foreclosures. 8 out of those 10 deals were all pre-foreclosures, and most of them were door knocks as well. So we said, okay, let's niche down, double down on going niche and door knocking. And that's worked really well for us this past year. And so we have a VA that pulls all of our data every morning from the counties directly, puts it in our system, skip traces it, and basically just queues it up for us to market to, go hit the doors, call, text, whatever it takes to get a hold of somebody. And in Washington, like you said, we're not allowed technically to bring up the foreclosure first unless you're a broker or an agent. And so we just offer help. We say, hey, have you heard of the state program that gives away free grants to people that need it? And that's kind of our foot in the door. And
leading with value when you reach out to these homeowners.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just heard that you said that you couldn't talk about the foreclosure unless you were a licensed agent. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. So guys, obviously they're finding a way around it with this government grant, which is a great way that piques their interest. They're like, oh, and then you can have that conversation. But it sounds like there is a way around that if you do have your license. So I wonder if it's the same out there in Maryland and several of those other states that are like that.
Yeah, it's the same in Maryland as well. We have some friends that are in the same group as us with Chandler Sane. And yeah, they're in Maryland, and kind of the same thing. They have a state grant program, and they do what we do and just kind of lead with that.
Love that. Tell us about one of your big recent wins.
Yeah, so this kind of goes back to the demographic of what we've seen success with. We didn't have a contract a couple weeks ago, and so we were like, what's our leaky bucket? And what we found was we were offering helps to homeowners, but we had a seller tell us, oh, I didn't even know you guys bought homes. So I ended up signing a contract with someone else. And so my dad was like, all right, give me 10 properties. I'm going to go door knock them. I'm going to tell them that if, auction is coming and they can't stay in the house, we'll buy your property. And so he ended up getting a contract signed that day. And come to find out, our title company, our escrow officer is a rock star. She found out that there's 2 other heirs. And so my job is talking to the sellers throughout the whole escrow process and dispoing it to our buyers. And later that week, we got them all on board. They all signed, and we'll be making almost $30,000 assignment on that one.
Let's go. Beautiful. How many pre-foreclosure deals a month do you think you're doing right now?
We're at anywhere from 3 to 5 right now. And we're kind of in a position now to where we can't keep up with them all. So we're going to have to bring someone on to be a lead manager, essentially. So me and my dad can focus on closing them.
Sounds like a good problem.
Yeah. Good problem to have for sure.
What was your average assignment?
Right now it's $23,000.
23,000. That's nice. What were you doing before? What was your average assignment when you were not doing pre-foreclosures?
I think around like 15,
Got it.
16.
That's not bad. Nice little squeeze in helping homeowners. So what I wanted to know is like same we asked Michael, his is vacant, probate, pre-foreclosure house. Would you say that's your number one performing lead that you're going for?
Yeah. When we find out one of the properties is vacant, that goes to the top of our list. And then it's go find the heirs, go find the kids, go find the siblings, whoever it is that is in charge of the estate. If they're deceased or if they're just not living there and they're out of state. Like we had a property that we ended up buying sub two, where he had moved out of state for a job and he was just going to let the property go.
Mm.
And there was no equity. So we just said, hey, what if we just took over your payments? And he told us where the keys were, and now we have owned that property. So yeah.
Guys, that's the level of motivation right there that you can find. You're of course not trying to take advantage of that. You want to serve them at the highest level. But that reminds me of a deal where a seller had passed away. I had tracked him down, found him, door knocked him, and he said, "Oh, you want to look at the house? Here's the keys." It's like some of these people, they're just ready for a solution. They're just waiting, and they just don't know what to do. And that's everyone in this chat's. That's what our goal is to find these people, serve them at the highest level. Sometimes they can't help themselves.
That's really cool. Toren, what does a day look like for you guys? When are you guys starting? When are you door knocking? What is an average day?
So my dad and brother are full-time. I still have my day job in software. Okay. And so we do our morning huddle every morning at 9 a.m. Okay. With our whole team, kind of look at our day and our to-dos. I do all my W-2 stuff typically in the morning up till early afternoon, try and knock it all out. My dad and brother are full-time, so they're calling, texting, getting data sorted with our VA. And then in the afternoon, that's my time to talk to sellers, talk to our buyers, find more buyers. And I'm married with 4 kids. So by the time it's 5 o'clock, it's family time. Mm-hmm. Go hang out with the wife, kids, and have families. I'm able to do all that within typically a 8-hour workday still. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a handful of deals a month. So
what you're saying is you got a W-2, you're married, you have several kids, and that shouldn't be an excuse to do a handful of deals a month.
Correct.
Very organized with your time.
Yeah, time block, 100%. Time block.
God, this is another thing I'd say for everybody on here. When I first got started, pull the data and then just focus on contacting the data. Time blocking, what he's saying, turn off. I have no notification comes to my phone except for text messages. If you want to get a hold of me, you have to text me. I have to go open up every other app on my phone. And I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb. So if you want to call me, you have to call me twice for me to get the call. Okay? I know my body. I know the way my brain works. I get distracted really easily. So figure out what works for you and then just go all in and you can be really successful. Toren, one last question. I'll give to Michael after this. If you were going to talk to yourself when you first got started doing outreach to homeowners in general and getting into real estate, what would you tell yourself now that you know now that you know what you know now?
I would say just be consistent. Don't get overwhelmed with doing too many things at once. Like for me, as an example, being part-time, if I'm able to call people at least an hour a day consistently every single day, that's 5 hours a week that I would not be doing it otherwise. If I try and cram 3 hours in one day because I missed a day or two prior, you just end up getting flustered. Mm-hmm. You're not putting in the same effort because you're trying to catch up. So I would just say, if you can do it an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever it is, be consistent with it. And it comes back around. That's what I would tell myself today.
Good advice.
Boom. That's awesome. Toren, thank you so much for coming on here. I'm glad to see that you guys are crushing it. That is so awesome. And I remember meeting your dad and everything. And is he still doing like a 75 hard grind? Is he still crushing it in the gym?
He still goes to the gym every day. He's eating pretty healthy. He doesn't do 75 hard still, but he keeps a lot of those aspects in his life still.
Dude, how much weight did he lose from doing that?
Like 80 plus pounds.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
killing it.
Big win.
For everybody on here, 75 hard is it's hard. It's intense, but it's like when I got on it, it helped me get really organized and routine because you have to plan your day well. I'm glad to hear that because you got 4 kids. How many do your brothers have?
My brother's got one with another one on the way. So
Cool. See, you got to be able to hang out with those kids. That's awesome. Well, Toren, thanks for coming on here. Tell your dad we said what's up. And I love seeing you in the side chat all the time. So glad to see you guys are having success.
Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
So wait, I want to make sure that I understand. Toren, I know I just took you off stage here. I think I took notes on it. They're doing 3 to 5 deals a month that are in pre-foreclosure. So 3 to 5 times $23,000. What's the math on that?
So they're making 60 to 100, 115 grand a month.
That's nuts. That's insane. So think about this. What is going to be the best use of your time? And also, he's not doing it alone, guys. You can go alone. You can go fast, but are you going to go far? Work with a team that can help you out. One other thing, Stacy, I saw that you just said in the side chat here, you weren't able to message me to get the resource sheet sample. I don't know why it didn't work. I have one other person that's trying to message me on Instagram and it's not going. So just message me again and show me that you followed Michael and myself on Instagram. You have our notifications turned on YouTube as well. And I'll send you that resource guide. For everybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Michael has spent years building a resource guide that he gives to homeowners, food banks, all the resources to families. And I have put it together in a way that's shareable so you guys can open it. You just have to message me on Instagram right here, and I will send it to you. You just have to show me that you're following Michael and myself on Instagram and on YouTube, and that you have the notifications turned on. And you must show me that you've door knocked 1 door. So, Michael, I had a lot of people sending me videos that they were door knocking and some pictures of their screenshot of following us on YouTube and Instagram, but they haven't door knocked a door yet. So you have to door knock a door. You have to follow us on Instagram and YouTube, turn all of your notifications on, and I'll send you that resource guide that Michael has built over the years, which is really cool. Michael, I know this is later in the day. We're going to bring it down to a close here. For everybody else, we do this every Thursday, 12 o'clock Arizona time, 2 o'clock Central time until the time change messes us up again. I want to make sure that you guys are getting value in here. So please message us on Instagram. Michael every Saturday morning goes live, or he responds back to people on Instagram. So you can message him and get questions there. Lots and lots and lots of tips and tricks on his YouTube channel. So you guys can see it's Michael D. Frankie for door knocking. As I heard that happen on YouTube. So you can find his stuff there. He's really got it nice and clean and organized. Check those out. You guys can be successful in this if you just are consistent. Make the door knocking happen. So if you did find value today, please like this video, help us with the algorithm, share this video to 3 people. That would be great. Share this so 3 people can find it, and come back next Thursday at 12 o'clock Arizona time, Pacific Standard Time right now, 2 o'clock Central. Michael, is there anything else you want to say before we close it down?
No, guys, I mean, there's been some good questions today. I loved having Toren on here. We actually messaged quite a bit on the side, and it's wonderful to see the success from someone that just started this not too long ago, and now they're really building out a company. It's a family company. They're doing really well. They're serving sellers up there in Washington. Guys, you can do the same thing. And Toren's advice was beautiful. Caroline highlighted that. Do what you can every day. If you can commit to an hour, that's 5, 6, 7 hours a week. Guys, over a period of time, a month, 2 months, you can get a deal out of that. Okay. And one deal, obviously that money can be life-changing, but it also is life-changing in terms of how it changes the chemistry in your brain. Once you know it's possible, then you can go, really get it going. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. The one other thing I would say, carve out 15 minutes every day to just think about this. I love looking at your Instagram, Michael, in the morning. I love reading your I know you're checking out your Bible. And I'm like, oh, that's a new way to think. Have 15 minutes where you have no technology, you have no kids, you have nobody bothering you. So that might mean waking up 15 minutes earlier. You get time to think about how you can solve problems and what you can do to make that happen faster. That's an opportunity, because once you got the deal closed, how can I get to them faster? How can I make sure I'm getting more accurate data? Have that free time to use our brain and think. It'll really, really change the game for you. And thank you guys for coming in here. Really, this is what we do it for. So we'll see you guys next Thursday at 12 o'clock Arizona time. Tell us about your wins. We know Faisal came on here one day. 1 month, he closed $300,000 in deals. It's not overnight. It's slow and steady.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. You will learn by taking action. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.